Hello and welcome to a new section. This is my cassette collection. Decided to start viewing them because, well, it's curious and a lot of people are wondering what I've got. These cassette cases, or this one here, which has got 4 drawers, can hold 33 approximately. So first of all, sliding them out. First of all we have the Status Quo collection. Nice early Status Quo down the corner there. Golden hour of Status Quo. Now some of you may notice they're in a different order. So the one on the right, Status Quo, has been listened to. The one on the left, back to back, is still to be listened to. That's kind of the system I have, so if you notice that, that's why. Next we move on to the Thin Lizzy stuff, as you can see, all been listened to. Same as over here, Thin Lizzy, Thin Lizzy. I do have the live album, but that's unfortunately broken. Then get on to Gary Moore, who also was with Thin Lizzy for a while, but he's now passed away, so his stuff's collectible. We then have Halloween, really good band. Discovered them with, I think, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1, and then found Part 2 and Halloween Live. Next we have the Genesis stuff. Here is late 80s Genesis, or late 70s stuff. We then have solo-y stuff from the same people, Peter Gabriel. Oops, sorry about that. We then have Phil Collins as well at the end there. More Genesis. Early Genesis there, Trespass, Trick of the Tail. Don't have the live album unfortunately. Seconds Out I think it's called. Then we have the Shadows, lots of Shadow stuff here. That red one there unfortunately no longer plays properly. It doesn't squeak, I think it just wears out cassette tapes. And then finally we have the Maidens, good band. Fear of the Dark and Number of the Beast still play. These two in the middle completely worn out. However, Seventh Son I do actually have on record, so that was quite nice. I have heard most of the tracks anyway. Next we have organ related. For this I'm going to stand up because it is quite a tall cabinet. This is all like organ and fairground music, so that's what these ones are. Fender and favourites. Sometimes I will buy one and accidentally not realise I've already got it. The only one in here is this Chopin one, but again it's just to fill a gap. Klaus Wunderlich, he is actually quite a good organ player, Hammond organ, but still good listen. A load of Wurlitzers down there. Final drawer, we have a mixture of stuff. We have ZZ Top at the back here, pretty good band. Not found any of their stuff recently. 25 years of rock and roll, along with Rolling Stones. Asia as well. We then have another Asia. We then have Little Richard and Bill Haley there. We then have some Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, loads of Eric Clapton, still alive believe it or not, blimey. And of course loads of Dire Straits, including the very first album, right up until I think that was their last one, On the Night, which is their last live album, which I do have on VHS tape. Anyway, moving over, we now have these here, which are basically, again, your standard sort of size cassette holder. Just adjust the light there. Okay. First up, we have the Beatles. I'm going to put my light over this way a little bit so it doesn't glare as much. So, first of all, we have the Beatles. We also have some solo stuff, so there's John Lennon and Paul McCartney's Ram. Pretty cool collection. That one there's Ed Sullivan meets the Beatles, I think. That one just there. Oh, Frank Purcell meets the Beatles. Hasn't got cover. I think that one I fished out the skip. Next to that we then have a mixture of stuff. We have some Mike Oldfield, including Tubular Bells and some later stuff. We then have the rest of the Queen and some Beatles. Mixture of Queen. The Freddie Mercury one, Mr. Bad Guy, unfortunately has a sponge head soft one. So if you know the old Atari games, or the old ZX Spectrum games, That's what sort of head they have on them. In there is the Queen collection. Light's not quite getting into it. There we go. So the very last album, Made in Heaven. Barcelona just there. And probably one of the more rarer items, I found this at a folk weekend, was Queen at the Beeb, which is like really early Queen stuff. Definitely worth a listen. Up into here we have a mixture of stuff again. Just a mixture of stuff. That one's done by the late John Pertwee from the Doctor Who series. Narrated by John Pertwee. No idea what it's going to sound like. Mrs. Mills, Gene Autry, loads of country. I have a lot of country, I'll be showing that off later. In here again we have a mixture of stuff. You have the Who there. Some Train, these ones here, oops, sorry if that's just killed you. These Train ones here, someone actually donated a whole complete set of these. Like so many from like a collection, and some of them were still new and sealed. A lot of them I grabbed, but most of them were sort of like just mixture of Train stuff. Should have grabbed the whole lot, but oh well. Anyway, I'll put that back in a moment. And finally, right at the very end, we have Vinny's favourite. So if you're a Vinesource fan, we have the nice Pink Floyd collection, including some of Roger Waters' stuff. Now, Hitchhikers is pretty strange, but When the Wind Blows, that is depressing as anything. The two on the end there, that one is an ELC, Early Learning Centre, musical sounds and stuff, sound effects cassette. Moving up onto here, we have some more bigger ones. I'll switch to this side. Oops. We have Goon Show Classics, which I have got quite a fair few of. And then we have some odd ones. We have a double, Bob Marley in Memory, the Moody Blues, and Toyah, the Changeling, odd cassette type. Anyway, the rest of these are all up here. Most of those are to be listened to. That up in the corner is Red Dwarf. Most of the cassettes on that corner there are broken ones, unfortunately. They're ones that have the sponge head. The Deep Purple and the Pink Floyd still work-ish, and that's an Atari game. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you in part 2. This is part 1 of 3 of 4.